Hello? I told you I was having issues. Like you guys didn't hear me because apparently my sound wasn't working, but the green lights were flashing. So I think there's something going on with StreamYard tonight. What the hell? The video wasn't working, even though I completely viewed it ahead of time and it was all good. My sound wasn't working, even though I tested that ahead of time. Things were messing up with the music. I don't get it. Maybe I should think about upgrading to the pay for StreamYard. Anyways, welcome everybody to the show. The next show will be better, the Hickson Diaries live stream. I'm your host, Mandy. In case you don't already know, if this is your first time with us, welcome. Thank you so much for taking a chance to check us out. If you're a returning visitor, we always love having you here. And thank you so much for taking time out of your night to be here with us again. So we have a couple things planned, but as it normally happens here in the live stream, I have some things planned and then the chat usually derails me. So we'll do our best to stick to the plan, but fear not, even if there is a plan and we don't get to it, I always get to it eventually on some of our other stuff. So yeah, anyways, let's see, we'll do some housekeeping first. If you could please hit that like button, that helps us out so much, and also share the stream if you can, so other community members know we're live. And don't forget that the members get unfiltered takes and reactions, and also behind the scenes footage, and all kinds of other exclusive perks. So consider hitting that join button for immediate access to all of those things. And of course, please be sure to send in all your comments, chats, questions, concerns, etc. throughout the stream, and we will respond as we go. So let's start off the show as we always do by checking to see who's here with us, because after all, the next show only gets better when you're here. Sounds so cheesy. I'm so corny. Okay. You haven't heard by now, I'm corny and cheesy. Anyways, we got Disco in house. Glad to have you back, Disco. Manny's here. Sam K is here. Welcome, guys. Manny! Diane is here. Oh, wow. Hello, everybody. I love that you guys have all these conversations amongst yourselves. It's so cool. Makes life a little harder for me, but it is cool. Roy Cousins is in the house. Happy to have you. Mojin's here. Glad to have you as well. Richard Wilmot's here. Yay. Glad to have you. I really wasn't on mute. I don't know what happened. But anyways, we're good now. Marge is here. You would think I would know what the hell I was doing. I've only been live streaming for over 2 years now. Anyways. Marge is here. Glad to have you. Neil Morrison is here. Glad to have you as well. John Broxton is here. Glad to have you. First time watching the live stream, but you are a member. I know that. I believe it's you that's a member. Maybe I'm wrong because it's not coming up. I could be confusing you with another John. But welcome. Anyway, we're happy to have you regardless. Thank you, John, for joining us today. Like I said, this is like acting up a bit today, and it's like glitch. I'm trying to read these comments, and it's like glitching. Marcia, you can't find the join button. It might not show up on the live stream. It depends on if you're on a mobile app, or if you're on a desktop or a laptop. But if you go to the channel, there's a join button. If you go to the channel, or if you look this at the live stream after we're done streaming and it's a replay, there should be a join button there, or any other video. Let me see if I could find the... Excuse me. Scan. I have a scan. I always forget. I have a barcode. There you go. You can join by scanning that as well if you're interested, guys. I'll leave it up there while we're doing our introductions and hellos. Happy birthday for this week to Richard. Is it your birthday, Richard? Happy birthday. And you're going to Oxford, I hope, to celebrate. I hope you have a great birthday and you enjoy it. You deserve it. Sam, I'll look at that. I don't know what's going on today. I was doing something earlier today. I was watching someone else's content, and the like button was freaking out on theirs. It was almost like old school counter where you get stuck in between, or like those old school locks where you have to do like a rotary, and it got stuck in between. It was really weird. I think there's something going on with YouTube, or it's probably YouTube now. John, you did us in so you live in the US? Oh, cool. Well, if you don't mind sharing, let us know where you are in the US and where you're from here in the UK. That'd be cool. Curious what your thoughts will be being up right in the US. Oh, here you go. South Yorkshire originally and now live in LA. Oh, that's awesome. How do you like LA? I hope it's all good there. I know it's topsy-turvy a little bit there. Anyways, I hope everybody is safe. I hope everyone's doing okay. I swear I had a plan. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, let's just get into it, into the thing that I had planned. Are you going to Oxford and you're going out with friends on the weekend, Richard? Oh, keep an eye on the news. Why? You plan on raising hell? We align politically, John. Well, I hope that you're safe because I know it's crazy in LA right now. Just crime is crazy. There's tons of stuff going on in Los Angeles right now. But anyways, okay. Today we're gonna do a fun one. I hope it's fun. So it's 10 things that you thought were American but are actually British. Us Americans, we like to claim everything is American. Basically, we invented the whole world. We basically had Trump syndrome well before Trump syndrome was a thing, but that's what we are. So this is from MSN.com and a story by Mary and Eric. I don't know who they are, but anyways, I thought it'd be something fun to do and give us something to chat about. If you guys want to chat about anything specific or you have any questions, comments, concerns, super chats, all that stuff, throw it in the chat and we will get to it throughout the stream. So 10 things you thought were American but are actually British. Have you ever wondered about the origins of some popular American things? Well, surprise, many things we often think of as quintessentially American actually started over in Britain. Shocking. From apple pie to detective stories, a bunch of stuff you're familiar with and has roots across the Atlantic. Let's take a closer look and see what we can find. Apple pie. Now, I did hear this, that it was like, there's an expression called as American as apple pie. So that is definitely something that we always have. We've not always said, but it's just been around for a long time. I think since like the 40s or 50s, maybe. Could be earlier than that. But I have heard that apple pie is originally British, which makes sense because it's not like Americans invent pie. And if any place that's going to like stem from a pie, or origin of pie would probably be Britain because you guys put everything in pies. Anyways, often associated with American culture, the humble apple pie actually has its origins in England. This sweet treat was baked baked in England long before it became a symbol of Americana. The earliest recipe for apple pie was written way back in England, providing this delicious dessert was enjoyed by Brits long before Americans made it their own. It was fascinating to see how food travels and transforms. I don't know about fascinating, but it's interesting. I wonder, because there's tons and tons of orchard along the East Coast in America, so I wonder if we've kind of just adopted it. I would guarantee that British people who colonized America brought the thing over, and then all of us, we forgot all about it, and then all of a sudden, in the mid-20th century, we just decided that it's as American as apple pie because it sounded good. Baseball. Baseball, America's pastime, surprisingly has its root in older British bat and ball games like rounders. That I did know. This beloved sport evolved from various similar games played in Britain, gradually developing into the game we know today in the United States. The connection shows how cultural elements can shift and grow into new forms over times and oceans. Yeah, but current game of baseball, even though it's based on rounders, is actually American, I feel like. That I might have a little bit of a dispute about. I know it's based on rounders. I hear that. But it's not quite rounders, right? Like it's different than rounders, but I don't know that much about rounders. So maybe I'm talking out my ass. Surprising. Country music roots. This would be a little bit surprising. I thought country I hit the space bar. I thought country music was inherently American, so this would definitely surprise me. Did you know that the soulful twangs of country music can trace their roots back to British folk and ballads? Yes, the storytelling and musical styles deeply embedded in country music were significantly influenced by the British. These influences blended with other cultural elements in the US to create the rich genre of country music that many love today. Okay, again, am I like misunderstanding the title? Yeah, these aren't, it still evolved into something very American that no one, well, now a lot of places have it, but they didn't for a long time. See, America used to be owned by Britain, so of course most of the stuff is inherently stemmed from British culture in some way. That doesn't mean it's not Americana. Am I getting defensive? I don't even like country music. Okay. The word cookie. Every time you say cookie, you're actually using a word that comes from the Dutch word koekje and the British word biscuit. I get the Dutch word, but the British word biscuit? Cookie, biscuit. Even British people call a cookie something different than a biscuit. The American adaptation of the term cookie gives it a unique flavor, but its origins are firmly planted in British soil, showing the blend of linguistic influences in American English. Again, of course it stemmed from Britain. Okay. Halloween traditions. The spooky Halloween traditions celebrated across the United States have their origins in ancient British and Celtic, I always say it wrong, festivals. I never remember how to say it. Particularly the festival of Samhain. This festival marked the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter. Over time, these traditions were transported to America, where they evolved into the Halloween celebrations we know today. All right, I'm starting to get annoyed with this list. The sandwich. Okay, this one is legit. Totally legit. Definitely not American. Ever think about why we call a piece of meat between two slices of bread a sandwich? Well, it's named after the 4th Earl of Sandwich, a Brit who supposedly came up with the idea so he could eat without leaving his gambling table. This quick meal has since become a staple worldwide, showing how a simple idea can become globally popular. That's cool. That one I agree with. Gothic horror literature. Gothic horror. I thought Gothic horror literature was European, but okay. Gothic horror literature, which includes chilling tales and spooky settings, was actually born in Britain. Iconic writers like Mary Shelley, who authored Frankenstein, were pioneers of the genre. The British origins of Gothic horror have significantly influenced American literature and film, providing the scary stories know no borders. Okay, I don't know that anyone that claims Gothic literature is American, though. It's weird. Okay. Chewing gum. I doubt chewing gum's American. I would have never thought of it, to be honest. While chewing gum is in various forms has existed for thousands of years, the modern version that we chew today was popularized by the Brits before becoming a hit in the United States. This sticky treat's journey from Britain to America is yet another example of how cultural products evolve and spread. Okay. These people are annoying me a little bit. This sounds like they ChatGPT'd some of this. The detective genre. Well, obviously. Who says the detective genre is American? I don't know anyone that says that. The detective genre, filled with mystery and intrigue, was well established in Britain thanks to characters like Sherlock Holmes. Created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Holmes set the standard for detectives in literature long before modern crime TV made detective a regular feature in American homes. I don't know anyone that doesn't know Sherlock Holmes is British. Okay. Garden gnomes. Oh my God, these things are so creepy. Those cute little, not cute, they're not cute. Those cute little garden gnomes that adorn many American and global gardens. They're stupid and a waste of money, and they're creepy. They were originally a Victorian British fad. I actually believe that 1,000%, because Victorian Britain was very creepy. Okay, these decorative figures found their way into gardens all over the world, but they started out in 19th century Britain, making them yet another British creation that found a loving home abroad. Okay, it's only because Americans buy stupid shit. Okay. That was 10 things that you thought were American, but were actually British. And I'm going to tell you right now that there's a couple on there that I don't agree with. Like, obviously, like, America didn't invent the detective genre. I don't know anyone who thinks that. I don't know anyone who thinks Halloween is inherently American. I think the current modern celebration of it is very American, but I don't think it's inherently American. The word cookie doesn't even make it. The Dutch origin makes sense to me. The British origin doesn't. And it evolved. It wasn't like they invented the cookie. I mean, I don't know who invented the cookie, but I know America didn't. And then the Rounders things, like, well, yeah, but it's not the modern day version of the game. It's a different game than Rounders. So I'm not like trying to defend American like inventions or anything. I could really care less of any of those on that list, in all personal fairness. But I just feel like that wasn't actually 100% honest article. I was misled. I was misled by the headline, and I will write a strongly worded letter. Who were the people? Who are the people that wrote it? Mary and Eric. I'm going to write a strongly worded letter to Mary and Eric. I think this is inherently flawed. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Let's see. Yeah, I knew I think you guys told me apple pie wasn't American, but it makes sense to me that it wouldn't be American. The American national anthem was originally a UK bar tune. I think one of y'all told me that as well, and that makes sense. I didn't think apples were native to American, but there are I thought there was apple trees that are like that. Like I didn't think apples were brought over. I thought there was native apple trees. Let me look it up. Yes, the United States has native apple species, which are a type of crabapple, not the common domestic apple that originated in Central Asia. These native North American species include Malus cornea, which is sweet crabapple, which is, I think, the ones that we use in pies often, prairie crabapple, and Pacific crabapples. Ones were called common apples by some. Unlike the larger apples commonly found in grocery stores today, the fruit produced on these native trees is typically small, tart, and green or yellow. Yeah, they are definitely not sweet, like the red apples. I like apple pie with a slice of cheese. Ew, why would you ruin the pie with cheese? You crazy Brit. Baseball is rounders, but I thought rounders I thought rounders was different as well. Rounders and baseball share a common ancestry, but differ significantly in rules, equipment, and field layout. Baseball uses a lighter bat, overhanded pitching, a diamond-shaped field with bases, and a 9-inning structure with strikes and walks. Rounders utilizes a shorter bat, one-handed swing, underhand throwing, posts instead of bases, and no strikes or walks. Batters required to run regardless of hitting the ball. I mean, all right, I'll give you rounders. I mean, I'll give you baseball, I guess. I mean, it did evolve from it. So that's the thing is like everything evolves from something. Like it wasn't just like poof, now we have baseball. Like of course it evolves from something. Very few things are invented from thin air, guys. Even in American standards. I don't know. That whole list was just misleading. In my opinion. Derby County football's old stadium was called the baseball ground. Really? Huh. All right, I'm gonna give you baseball. Okay. I think the original English settlers in America took apples with them. They probably did because we do have orchards that have like not crab apples on them. Crab apples are really tiny. Like they look almost like plums. They're red, they're greenish, yellow, reddish, that like mix, but they're like the size of a plum. And they're very bitter. I don't recommend them unless you're starving. Sam K says that baseball has rounders and cricket basic rules or basic physics that baseball came from. Yeah, okay, baseball seems like it's a combination of rounders and cricket. That's what I'm saying, like it evolved, but baseball itself wasn't invented in Britain. Like I thought that they were going to say, oh, these things they think are American, but they're actually created in Britain. Like the apple pie thing. That makes sense. I get that. Minstrels. Very well done. I like your minimalist approach, Marsha. Richard says that it used to be thought uncooked fruit was dangerous, hence the large number of fruit pies. Really? That's interesting. I didn't know that. Richard dropping knowledge on us. Slide guitars are originally Spanish. I think you might be right, John. I'm pretty sure. I feel like I knew that somewhere along the lines. A1 sauce is actually British and not American? Really? Did you tell me that already? Someone told me that. Let's see. A1 is a British invented brown sauce that is difficult to find in the UK today due to the market competition, but it remains a quintessentially American steak sauce. That is funny because the reason I think it's funny, this is a complete personal thing. I hate A1 steak sauce. I always wondered why people had it on their steak. Well, this is way, way back when I was a kid and I ate steaks. I don't eat it anymore. But I always wondered why, because I never liked it. And I don't like brown sauce. I don't like HP sauce. That makes total sense now. I'd rather watch cricket instead of baseball any day. All right, Manny. First of all, I'm a baseball fan by proxy because I grew up watching it with my dad. So I'm not like a baseball fan, all fairness. But I will tell you this story. So when I met my partner, he was exactly the same, Manny. He was like, what's the point of baseball? It makes no sense. It's too friggin' long. It's just annoying and mindless and whatever. But to be polite and to get in good with my dad, he watched a bunch of games with my dad. He tried really hard to understand what was going on and tried really hard to like feign enthusiasm out of respect for my dad and everything. Absolutely hated it. 2 years before we left, all of a sudden, he's like an avid baseball fan. And he's watching all the games. He's listening to podcasts. He's talking about the managerial styles and stuff. And I was like, well, I understand it from a certain perspective because he was a coach for football for a long time. So the strategy behind it, okay, I could see a little bit of appeal to him for that, right? Because he wasn't coaching anymore at the time. So I'm like, oh, maybe he's like just trying to get the strategy behind it and trying to get, in the manager's heads and all that kind of stuff. Now, absolutely obsessed with baseball. Watches it here while we're here. He was just watching it the other night and complaining because the Mets were losing. And I told him that that's what you get for picking a team that's awful. But yeah, he was watching it on his phone while we were watching something on TV. I was like, what happened to you all these years? You were like, I hate baseball. And now all of a sudden, I can't get you away from it. So between football, which has got like 11-month season, and baseball, which has got like a 9-month season, now we're in postseason. He's like I never see him. Then there's racing and there's rugby and there's darts and I'll watch the darts, but Jesus. Anyways, that's the baseball story, Manny. So I hear you, but I would try to watch a little bit of it anyway, just because you never know. He got turned around and I wasn't even trying to turn him around. He turned around on his own. So, and I know you're a football fan, so I'm wondering if maybe that same kind of analytical minds might be what draws Brits to baseball. And this podcast that he watches, right? He's part of the community, watches this podcast while he watches and listens to it. They talk about like the behind the scenes and the skill of the game and the stats and that kind of stuff. So he's learned a lot from it. But they have a community of like 10 or 12 people that are like regulars that always comment and all that kind of stuff. Of course, he's part of it. But there's like 2 people from the UK in that community specifically. So it's just really weird. Really, really weird. So I would just say, don't write it off. And I'm not saying because I'm an avid fan and I think you should do it. I'm just saying, don't write it off because you never know. See, this is what I'm saying, Marcia, right? Cookies are like the ones that are like, they're larger, I'm told, and they have things in them, right? Whereas biscuits are usually on their own, maybe coating, and maybe sandwiches like creams or bourbons, right? That's what I was told when I moved here, because when people were calling them cookies, I was like, what the hell? I thought they were just biscuits. And that's what was explained to me at the time. So that's my understanding. Of course, cookies evolved from biscuits and probably a ton of other things. But like, I don't know. I mean, we call everything cookies. We don't call anything biscuits because we have our own biscuits that are completely different. But Richard says, I'm the cookie monster. Give me cookie. I have to say, I'm a sucker for homemade chocolate chip cookies. Don't have to put anything else fancy in them. Just a nice, warm, homemade chocolate chip cookie. I'm yours. I love them. I'll eat them all as well. I'm like you, Richard, but only for chocolate chip cookies. I am wondering what you would call an Oreo. So for those of you, let me pull up an image just in case y'all don't know what I mean. In case they call it something different. Because, you know, who knows? This Oreo, you guys, this is the Oreo I'm talking about. Do you call this a cookie or do you call this a biscuit? Or do you call it Oreo because that's the name? Just curious. I'll leave it up there for a minute. Just curious, because to me, based on the logic that British people told me, this would be a biscuit. But of course, we call it a cookie because we call them all cookies. So I am curious. There's no chocolate chips in it. And it is a sandwich cream kind of thing, like your custard creams and all that. Custard creams. My brain works faster than my mouth. I need to work on that. Okay. Marcia says I turn into a Wookiee when I'm confronted with cookies. Oh, God. Edgar Allan Poe may have had something to do with the Halloween explosion in America. I think you might be right on that, John. That would be my guess too. If I had to make a guess for the modern origin of how America celebrates Halloween, I would definitely make a guess that it stems from that genre of poetry and stuff. That would be my guess. It's like we're like this, John. It's really weird. Sam Hain is Celtic for Halloween. Okay. Again, I'm not saying Halloween, the actual holiday, comes from America. I'm saying the current modern day way we celebrate it with just the commercializing of it and the begging for treats. I might be wrong about that, in all fairness, because I know costumes come from that, right? Because they were trying to ward off evil spirits, and that's where the pumpkins come from. So maybe I'm proving myself wrong, as I told you, my mind works. I should just stop talking and think about it. I think a lot of people get on me about Halloween because it's a British origin holiday, but I never said it wasn't. Okay? I'm just saying it's not celebrated here like it's celebrated in America. The celebration in America is insane. And you guys, and John, you're a Brit that's in the US. Please come with me on this one. Please support me on this one. That people in America go absolutely insane over Halloween. It is crazy. We have stores where people go to the stores just to see the latest Halloween decorations. They don't even buy anything. Definitely don't have that here for Halloween. Maybe Christmas. I usually end up buying something for Christmas. Excuse me. I guess Americans think like Raymond Chandler and Sam Spade. Maybe. I guess. I assume you're talking about the detective era. Old Sherlock. Yeah. I just don't get, like, why they would who would think that things like detective stories come from America? No one investigated anything before America was founded. I that's what I'm saying. I would be hell bent to find an American that would think that. Maybe a MAGA supporter. I'm just playing. If you support MAGA, I'm just playing. I'm only kidding. Don't garden gnomes originate from Germany? Yeah, that was another one where I was like, what? Garden gnomes, as we know them today, were first produced in 19th century Germany by sculptor Philip Griebel. Made of clay and eventually resin and plastic in the 70s and 80s, these gnomes were called Gartenzwerg or garden dwarfs. However, the earliest known statutory descendants were used in ancient Rome. I don't know anyone who thinks they're American either. Good call on that, Rory, by the way. So weird, right? Like it's almost like they were like, let's do this article. My deadline's in half an hour, so let's chat GPT it and we'll just proofread it for grammar and spelling. That's what it seemed like. You guys know, you guys are content consumers, as we all are nowadays, but you've read something like an article or you've heard someone do a video or something and you're like, they completely just said to ChatGPT or some other AI system, I want to do a video about this. And they're literally reading the script and you can tell they didn't put any actual like thought or personality into it. Not hating, because there's some people who don't care and don't mind that kind of content, but you can always tell if someone's actually put any kind of personality, anything personal into it. Anyways, I have read the first Gothic novel. It was written by a woman, The Castle of Otranto. Was it American? Was she American? The Castle of Otranto is a novel by Horace Walpole, first published in 1764. It is generally, so obviously not American. It is generally regarded as the first Gothic novel. In the second edition, Walpole applied the word Gothic to the novel in the subtitle, A Gothic Story. Yeah, it doesn't say where she's from, though, in all fairness. It was written, it was written during her tenure as MP for King's Lynn. It's fascinated with medieval history. In 1749, building a fake Gothic castle, Strawberry Hill House. Interesting. Yeah. Clearly not American. Before Mary Shelley, there was Matthew the Monk Lewis and William Beckford's Valfic, which he wrote at 17 in French over 2 days. Ugh, I've done nothing with my life. Beckford was weird. John, different. See, this is the John I was thinking of when John came up. Welcome to the community. Thank you for being here, John. Glad to have you. My apologies. I mixed you up with someone else who is named John. So now I'm going to have to figure out how to differentiate the two of you. Bear with me. Diane says I'm ashamed we're responsible for gnomes. So I have a family member that bought a house last year, and they are find gnomes equally abhorrent as I do. And so for their housewarming, everyone got them nose. Oh, funny, right? We thought it was funny. Was Trump grown from an orange tree? No, it's just a lot of makeup. As you get older, you know, sometimes you need to put a little extra makeup on, but not like that. In all fairness, he used to tan like every day or something like that. I think now it's just makeup, probably because he's so old. I don't know. I try not to look at him if I don't have to. We also exported dandelion. Oh, thanks for that. Also, thanks to all those like World War II soldiers that came back with bamboo because I had it in my yard. I couldn't get rid of it. Ugh. I actually don't mind dandelions. Better than bamboo. Okay, I'm not even reading that aloud, John, but okay. Poe did some detective stories. Yeah, but I mean, he didn't invent the genre. Again, John. Ugh, Imogen's in on it now. ATMs were invented in the UK. That makes sense. You know, if you get a chance, you guys, this is me. I always promote other people's channels. Go watch Girl Gone London's. I know a lot of you support her as well. She's fantastic. Go watch her most recent video on banking in the US versus the UK. It's really good, and it makes America look like we're like using clams for currency. It's insane. It's insane how behind America really is when you start comparing it to other countries. Anyway, check it out if you can. It's a good one. Try a cold slice of apple pie with a slice of cheddar cheese. You need a little bit of warm apple pie, just a little heated, like 10 seconds in the mic or something, right? Just so that it's not like all of the sauces and gelled and everything. It's just a little runny and stuff inside the filling. And then put a big scoop of vanilla ice cream on top. Let it melt all over. Fucking fantastic. Not the cheese. I can't try it, Richard. I don't like cheddar cheese. Diane says, I was rubbish at rounders at school. They always put me in fielding. They always put the bad baseball players in fields as well. Oh, I used to pray the ball wouldn't come anywhere near me. Oh. It's funny that they do the same thing in baseball. That's hilarious. Imogen was captain. Interesting. Well, I've heard of like people have fruit with cheese. I just don't know about the pie. That's all. What the hell is hoe sauce? You guys are weird. Or is that a misspell? You mean HP? Is that what you mean? HP? You must mean HP. Johnny Appleseed planted apple trees across the American frontier in the 18th and 19th century. Yes, he did. Well, of course we know about Johnny Appleseed. Okay, Neil, no worries. Thanks for joining us for a little bit. I hope you have a really good week. Appreciate it. John says, I can watch baseball live. I've been to many Dodgers games and really enjoyed them. Baseball on TV is deathly boring. I don't know. I mean, I grew up watching it on TV. So for me, it's not. It's boring. It's no more boring watching it live. The thing about being live is you have nothing else to do. Although now there's phones, so. I know cricket is insanely long, and that's why I'm really surprised that a lot of people would choose cricket over baseball, because a lot of the complaints about baseball by British people that I've heard anyway has been mostly the length of it, and it's slow. But cricket's kind of the same over like a week. Anyways, to each, sometimes it's just about what you're used to as well, and then once you break down that barrier, which takes a while, trust me. But once you break down that barrier, then you're like, oh, all right, because you just kind of have it in your mind. You have that stereotype or that perception in your mind, and it's hard to sometimes to break through that. I do it all the time. I'm still like working through a lot of my stereotypes and original perceptions of what I thought were going to be about stuff here in the UK. Always slog the ball. Emojin says he always slugged the ball towards the girl who couldn't catch, and that was 90% of them. Oh, ouch! I was good at catching, actually. I grew up playing catch with my dad. He was a baseball player for a long time, so he taught us when we were little. Dundee Dave, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you coming. Dundee says, I admit that I don't get baseball. Always been a football guy, but my son, daughter-in-law, and granddaughter are all ice hockey fan. Dundee stars, I now love it. Ice hockey! What? That's amazing. I love it. You got Rangers. Ice hockey starting up soon. I'm really excited. I'm going to try to see a live game here in the UK this season. I have it on my agenda. Manny says, gotta say massive big up to the England women's rugby team who won the Women's World Cup Saturday. Yes. Well done, ladies. The ladies are bringing home some trophies, guys. Just saying. I'm a grass widow. Is that because of all the sports? Probably. Pretty much. Yeah, literally, he said to me earlier, he's like, he was taking the child out to do something tonight, and he was like, I was like, oh, are you sure? I was like, there's a family thing going on, so I was like, I'll cut the stream short or whatever. He's like, no. Manchester United suck, and the Mets aren't in the playoffs, so what the hell else am I gonna do? I was like, okay then. Fair enough. Where do McDonald's apple pies idea originate from? They're gorgeous. I don't know. Let's find out. What a good question. Where? McDonald's apple pies originated with franchisee Lytton Cochran in Knoxville, Tennessee, in the early 1960s, who suggested the Southern-style fried pie to Ray Kroc as a new dessert for the brand. After months of recipe development with his wife, Jo, the pie was introduced to the national McDonald's menu in 1968 as the company's first dessert. They kind of look like a sausage roll with a pie inside. Or you guys don't really have them here, but there's a pizza snack in America called Tostino pizza rolls. I think that's the name of the brand. And they kind of look like that, only the pizza rolls are like that big. God, I haven't thought of that in a long time. I used to have those a lot. Oreo is just a biscuit. You'd call it a biscuit, Dundee. Okay, we got 1 vote for biscuit. I'd call Oreo a biscuit. Diane as well. That's 2. Never call Jaffa cake a biscuit. All right, that's fair. I wouldn't have known that. I would have called it a biscuit, so that's fair. Those Oreo biscuits remind me of drop pieces. You mean, we call it checkers. Is that what you mean? What's the other thing that some people call it here? Knots and crosses. Is that what you mean? They do kind of. So Mojin also calls them biscuits. An Oreo never goes off. You're absolutely right. Oh, you're meaning Poe for inventing Gothic horror. Well, could be. Could be either. It's around the same time, too. You promised to get okay. Okay, I'm really glad you are. Make sure you watch the Yankees of New York. Make sure it's the Yankees because there's another New York team called the Mets, and they're awful. So you want to go blue pinstripes. Actually, I think the Mets wear blue pinstripes too, but they have orange. Don't go with the blue and orange. Go with the blue, navy blue and gray. Which happen to be my favorite colors. Oh, anyways. Growing up, our family did bonfire night rather than Halloween. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Do you celebrate bonfire night in LA? Or do you do Halloween while you're in LA? Yeah, see, the US goes crazy for Halloween. No one celebrates it like the US that I know of, anyways, unless there might be maybe some Eastern European countries that celebrate it, but like that. But I mean, you guys, I really, it's hard to explain. It's one of those things you can't explain until you experience it, I think. I've had so many conversations with British people about it. Every British person I know who's lived in America agrees. But again, I think it's something you just have to experience. Well, you know. They did originally use turnips instead of pumpkins. That is fair. It did. I think it did originate in Ireland and or Scotland. I know it didn't originate in the US, but we've definitely put it on steroids. Shocking. Yeah, see, John, Spirit Halloween stores, you guys, like you can. I think we did it last year on a live stream. We watched someone walk through the Spirit Halloween store because it's just insane. It's crazy all the time, every year. There's one near me that takes over an old Sears every October. Yeah, they pop up only for the season, right around now, right? Because everyone's getting their shit together now, and they have like leaf bags that you fill with leaves that are it's like pumpkins, and they're ghosts and goblins and stuff. It's crazy, which is Americans are insane. Anything to buy things, any way to spend money. Good evening, Stephen Kelly. Glad to have you here. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're well. I'm surprised the religious conservatives in the US don't freak out over Halloween. I'm gonna check out to see if there's a like a history of Halloween in the US specifically, because I feel what you're saying, Roy. And I bet you that the commercialization of it somehow factors in. Because I would be very surprised if many Americans even remember the origin of the holiday, even the religious ones. Hi, Piper! We're talking about this stupid thing that we read that was not accurate. Piper, we need your vote. Are Oreos biscuits or cookies? And Richard wants to know if cheese with apple pie is something that is palatable, I guess. Dundee Dave says, in Scotland, we went out guising, nothing to do with Guy Fawkes. This meant disguising, where we went out and knocked on doors, but we had to earn a treat, sing, or tell a joke. Oh, okay. That makes sense. I thought there was something like that in the original origins of the holiday. Yeah, I'm with you, Piper. Huh? I'm scared to ask, Sam. Oh, Marja. Is that it? Is that it? Aw. Whew. Sam says no. All right, I'll Google it. It says it's not. What if, it says soft biscuits. That's weird. Soggy biscuit. Soggy biscuit is a crude British slang for a juvenile game, often a dare or hazing ritual. I knew I didn't want to know. Where participants, typically boys or young men, are pressured into a contest involving ejaculation into a cookie or biscuit. The soggy biscuit is the resulting cum-soaked biscuit, and the loser of the challenge is often forced to eat it. Oh, Lord. I knew I didn't want to know. Why did you make me Google it and read it aloud, Sam? Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna have to call you guys by your last names, I think. Lilburn and Broxton. Because that's the only way I'm gonna differentiate between you two Johns. Oh, it was a man? Oh, my bad. Piper says I use ChatGPT on all my job applications, but make sure to rewrite it in my own words. That's the thing. I use ChatGPT sometimes because sometimes I have, like I have all my thoughts out, but I can't figure out how to open it or I don't know how to tie them all together, right? So I'll have ChatGPT write a script or whatever. But then I always massage it. Like I never just read it out. It's like reading a textbook and then saying it's an S, like you're turning in a paper. It's not yours, right? You have to like regurgitate the information in your own style, in your own voice. Dracula was written in Whitby. Fair. I didn't know that, to be honest with you, but totally fair. Do you think it was set in Transylvania though because it was so far away and so like mythical and exotic sounding? Probably. Apparently, Trump stained the royal sheets during the state visit and shocked the staff. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I want to know only the things I need to know about that man because there's way too much overload of Trump information, anyways. The Pinkerton private investigating firm was founded by a Scot. In the castle of Otranto, someone is crushed by a giant helmet. Huh? Mary Shelley, daughter of Mary Wollstonecraft and William Godwin. I don't know who they are. I feel like I should, though. Lilburn's saying I should. Yes! Piper. I wasn't going to ask because, like, I wasn't sure if it was bad news. Strangely enough, I saw Girl Gone London's video in the US UK banking systems before I joined the live stream. It's very good. She does a very good job with those deep dives. I don't know that I would be able to do the deep dives as well as her. She does really good. I've thought about doing deep dive stuff, and I don't know. I got some things coming that are different, but oh, Piper, I hope it goes well. We're still have our fingers crossed for you, girl. You can't have apple pie without Cool Whip. Cool Whip. You guys like to say your H. Plowman's lunch. Okay, I made tea the other day for the child because the child, I said, I'll get up and make, I wanted a cup of tea, so I got up to make myself a cup of tea. And the partner was like, oh, okay, since the kettle's going to be on. I was like, you know, you don't want me to make your tea, right? He's like, yeah, just tell me when the kettle's done. So the child was like, will you make me a cup of tea? And my partner was like, but I had never made her a cup of tea. He's always made it as long as she's been alive, right? So I was like, let me just try it again. So I'm putting it all together, and I was like, I don't even know how she takes it because I've never made it. And she was like, 2 sugars. I was like, 2 sugars. Do you have milk? She's like, yeah, a little bit of milk. I'm like, she has builder's tea. And she said it wasn't that bad. So just a tad milky, she said. I considered it a win. The Brad and Lucy show is good as well. I don't know that. The Brad and Lucy show. Lucy's apparently crazy. We are Canadians who love sharing our reactions to shows we've never seen before. All right. I will check them out. But Mandy's the best. Oh, Marja. Thank you, Marja. That was very sweet. I could try other hard cheeses. When I have the guts too, I do try them. I'm not a hard cheese person primarily, but I do like Parmesan, which I know is a hard cheese. So I like mozzarella and cream cheese and ricotta, and they're all soft. So. Oh, Lilburn, how can you hate Parmesan? It's so good with Italian sauce, red sauce. Richard said there is a saying, an apple without cheese is like a kiss without a squeeze. It sounds like someone just wanted to grope the chick. Or whomever. No judgment. Steven says, I'm utter crap at all sports except croquet. I get a lot of stick for that. I used to play croquet. Apparently Brad and Lucy is the place to go. Oreo is definitely a biscuit. Okay, that was 4, so I'm just going to say it's a biscuit. That's what I would call it a cookie personally. But if I had to say, okay, and from the British point of view, is this a cookie or a biscuit? I would have definitely said it was a biscuit. So you have my approval. That's very, very true, Dundee. There's so many people I know that tried it and they didn't realize it was hot. Oh, that's funny. Paul the Bookworm. Thanks for joining, Paul. My wife is from Missouri and has been living here for the past 18 years. Oh, well, how do they like it? Are they enjoying it? How, compared to Missouri? Missouri, I actually know someone from Missouri, from St. Louis, which is in Missouri, just for those of you who don't know. But they don't live there now, but they are from there originally. You're so sweet. I actually know Eclectic Beard. It's pretty good. Thank you very much. Yeah, I always have lots of bloopers, don't I? Because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Thank you, Marja. You see, I knew there was a reason. I knew it. The founder wanted to serve pineapple in the bun instead of fillet of fish. First of all, the fillet of fish isn't good. But flounder. What do you mean, bloopers? Pineapple, really? Ugh. I hate pineapple. Stephen Kelly says, I spent 2 weeks at a baseball game in Chicago. You're funny. Yeah, you should watch the Yankees. I'm just saying. Watch the Yankees versus the Mets is a Subway Series. Although now it's in postseason, so you'll only be able to watch the Yankees because the Mets aren't in it. Okay, how do I pronounce it? I pronounce it a life buoy, but I know that Britain pronounces it as life boy. Because I got called out on that several times and when I've done the pronunciation videos and stuff. Shut up, Disco. Is that real? I don't believe you. Oh, shit, it comes up, so it must be true. The Jaffa Cakes court case refers to 1991 ruling by a VAT tribunal that determined Jaffa Cakes are cakes, not biscuits, which resulted in their zero VAT status. Okay, then. Only a British founded company would take people to court. I guess no, I take that back. I was going to say only British would take it to determine if it's cake or biscuit, but it had to do with the tax, right? Because you would get the added tax on it if it was considered a biscuit, I would assume. So never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. You guys should just all stop watching the stream now because I don't know what I'm talking about. Oreos just remind me of our Bourbons or custard creams, and they are biscuits, so Oreo is a biscuit. Yeah, that was my thought process too. They remind me a lot of you guys they're not custard creams. Are the custard creams the round ones? Because I know you have the rectangular ones too, right? Custard creams are they're both. Oh no, they're rectangular, right? Okay. Because you have round ones too. We have they're called Oreo Blondes under the Oreo brand, but we had the vanilla cookies with vanilla cream in them instead, well before Oreos made them the Oreo Blondes. They just wanted to get in on the action. I'll watch the Yankees while eating New York cheesecake. Works for me. And you should get high first too, because that's what New Yorkers do now. Apparently. Neeps and tatties. Tatties are potatoes, right? What are neeps? Let me see if I can think of it. It's not sausages, right? Because that's bangers. I don't know. Fish fingers? Nuggets? Chicken nuggets? I'm gonna say chicken nuggets. There's a 365-day Christmas shop in Stratford upon Avon. You guys in Christmas, man. It's one day. I know it's saying a lot, speaking as an American. But isn't that what Scots have on St. Andrew's Day? I doubt many of them know the origin of Christianity, let alone Halloween. Well, they all think, Lowburn, they all think that in America, that Jesus was either American or white. Oh, Burns Night. I don't know St. Andrew's Night. They're not quite, Rory. Bourbons are more of like a milk chocolate, whereas Oreos, the cookie, is like a dark chocolate taste. But I get what you're saying. And they also, Oreos have a vanilla cream in the middle, where Bourbons have the chocolate cream in the middle. Dundee says, yeah, it took our granddaughter to an effing pumpkin from a farm at 5 times we could get it from Tesco because that's the way it is now. That's what we do. Actually, pumpkins are fairly cheap in America. But what they do is they get you to buy all the other fresh fruits and vegetables and ciders and all that other stuff for decor and things like that. Pumpkins are actually fairly cheap from the pumpkin patch, but it's just a way to entice you to pay for all the other crap. But that is the way it is when you have children in your life. I remember very much. Get a few years many years retrieve, hopefully. Reprieve. I said retrieve. So bad. Cookies. Piper says cookies in the UK are a type of biscuit with something inside the actual dough, like chocolate chip cookies. The cream is not inside the dough, so it's not a cookie. Okay, so biscuits are just basically cookie dough without anything in it, right? It's just plain dough. And then cookies are something where there's something inside the dough. So then let me ask you, you probably don't have them here, but I am curious if you've ever heard of them. Don't know what they're called. I mean, they're called thumbprint Hershey Kiss cookies. So they're thumbprint cookies. Let me check. With a Hershey Kiss in the middle. I'll show you a picture of it. Hold on. So what would you classify that as? Is that a biscuit? It's not mixed in the dough, so I guess it's a biscuit, right? What about something like peanut butter or nuts mixed in? I'm just asking because these are the kinds of things that we've had for Christmas. And also Russian tea cakes. Is that a biscuit? Or is that considered a cake? Because we consider it a cookie. These are the really important topics we discuss on our live streams. They are vital to survival. Anyways. Oh, hello, Matthew Stanford. Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it. How far from London have you traveled? I don't live in London. I live in Southeast England, but I've traveled all the way up to the Isle of Skye, Northern England, Manchester, Stoke, those areas. And we've done like Hay on Wye. But I believe that's as far west as we've gone. If you're interested, we do have a travel channel, a travel podcast that shows all of our travels. Some of the stuff is public, some of the stuff is members only, but you'll get an idea if you're interested. Thank you for asking. Oh my God, Richard, seriously? Oh, that's not funny. Marja. Ugh. Marja, please. Matthew says, many of your videos seem centered around England, London. Have you ever traveled to the north of England or the nations of Scotland and Wales? Counterintuitively, London is not representative of the UK. Oh, absolutely. I agree with you 1,000%. There's amazing, amazing places outside of London that I have had the pleasure of traveling to, as I mentioned. There's a ton of that are still on my list. But hopefully now that I have a little more free time, I can actually partake in some of these travels. But yeah, absolutely. I'm the first person to say that London is not indicative of England or even the UK. It is definitely, you definitely want to venture out. I tell people that all the time, Matthew, 100%. But I do live in Southeast England, so my perspective, that's probably why that is my perspective, because that's the closest city to me, right? And my perspective is what it's like in my living conditions, like my current living space. Yeah, I got you, Braxton. Yes, that's what you do. You do that for the little ones. And it's a good memory as well. I mean, my child is in the teenage years now, and I remember when we did all of that kind of stuff, and to seeing the excitement on her face and running through the pumpkin patch and all that kind of, it never leaves you. It's totally worth it. You can make more money. Memories are harder to come by. People were saying similar things to me, Dundee, when we first took her to Disney World. We just happened to have a vacation booked near there. We didn't know it was so close. And so we were like, oh, we're literally like 2 miles from Disney World. So we're like, we're going to take her for the day. We just did it for one day because we didn't have a ton of money. And obviously it wasn't planned originally, but she was only 3. And a lot of people were trying to talk us out of it because they're like, it's not worth it. She's not going to remember any of it, blah, blah, blah. But she was in her princess era, like her Disney princess like phase. And so we were like, no, we have to take her. We're so close. We have to do it. We have to do it. And it was one of the best days I've ever had with her. And she was loving it. And by the time we went back, she was completely out of her princess phase. And it was a completely different experience. So it was a lot of money. It was definitely a lot of money that we probably didn't have. We definitely rearranged some things around in order to do it, but it was totally worth it. We're never going to have a memory like that again. The other thing is that a lot of people don't realize until they have kids, until sometimes not even until their kids get older, is it goes by so fucking fast, right? They're only this age once. And they're going to be out of this phase. Sometimes it's good that they're out of the phases, but sometimes it's like, how am I, like, I want to remember these phases. So I don't know. We always approach life even more so now, but even when we first had her, it's like, hey, we have 18 years to make as many memories as possible where she's a child. And we still have a relationship with her, obviously, after that, but it's going to be completely different. So what can we do to make that whole situation as fun and memorable for all of us as we can, hopefully in a good way. So I'm with you, Dundee. I'm going to be exactly the same way. If I ever get the opportunity to be a grandparent, I'm going to be exactly the same way. I'm going to spoil the hell out of those kids, or that kid, however it works out. Mary Wollstonecraft wrote A Vindication of Women. All right, I'll look it up. I actually have. I'm still reading a book right now, but I have a little list, so I'll add it to the list. Yeah, we were watching a little bit of it last year, I think, of the Luz bonfire night because they had a live stream of it. We didn't get to see the whole thing though. Marmite with caramel and Marks and Spencer's? Gross. Why would you ruin caramel like that? Goodwin was the first modern proponent of anarchism. Interesting. My housemate uses 3 tea bags in 1 cup. Jesus. I used to hate Marmite, but now I love it. Well, Stephen, I don't know what to tell you. You've fallen to the dark side. Girl Gone did a video about the Fundies version of Halloween called Hell House. I don't know that one. I'll look it up though. Thanks for that, Richard. Hi, Glenn. Thanks so much for joining us. Glad to have you here. A Marmite is a large casserole dish. Useless fact. Well, that one I would prefer over the yeast extract one. Shelley, I met Murder on the Way. He had a mask like Castlereagh. Very smooth he looked, yet grim. 7-blooded hounds followed him. Ooh. Intriguing. Hello, City Flyer. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it. How are you? Yeah. Hello, Wayne Martin. Thank you for joining us. And yes, I agree with you 1,000%. Pineapple's awful. It could be the last biscuit of the world. Could be cockroaches and Oreos surviving. In what month is baseball's regular season? Preseason, are you testing me now, Manny? Preseason starts the end of February, early March. So I think it's early April to the end of September. It's long. So you got plenty of time to find. And there's 186 games or something. So it's like they play a lot. So you'll be fine. You'll find at least one. There's an actual competition in Scotland called the World Flounder Tramping Championship. It is exactly what it says on the tin. Flounder tramping. What's flounder tramping? You guys got me going to Google a lot today. Flounder tramping is a traditional fishing technique where a person walks through shallow, murky waters at low tide using their feet to locate and trap flounders hiding on the seabed. After locating the flatfish by feeling it with their feet, the person scoops it up by hand. This method, popular in parts of the UK, was even the basis for the annual Flounder Tramping World Championships in Palnackie, Scotland, though such events have faced health and safety concerns. Well, I mean, the fish lays on the bottom of the seabed, so it's like, I don't think that the person's foot's going to make it any less sanitary. And you usually don't eat the outside of the flounder anyway. But okay. You guys have, I must say, you have the most interesting and crazy, I'm just going to say it, crazy competitions. I'm just going to say it. I adore them, but they're a little bit crazy. Who thought of that? Like, oh, it wasn't, I guarantee some Scotsman who is probably a little bit tipsy because it's Scotland, and like was walking through the river and was like, oh, there's a flounder there, and picked it up. Oh, there's a flounder there. Like something like that. That's just my guess. Manny, same. Yeah. Okay. Glad I could entertain you. Neeps or turnips? Nips and tatties go with haggis. Okay, turnips and taters. Taters. Alex, how are you? It's good to see you too. Thank you for joining us. Lots of people today. This is awesome. Pantomime. That is Disco mentioned pantomime, and that is another very British thing. Neeps or fish fingers. Don't make fun of me. Don't make fun of me. I will ban you. Because you know me, I'm so worried about, how I appear to people, clearly. Bubble and squeak. Love it. Charlie Brown had the okay. Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin. Oh, this was my childhood. We used to watch the trilogy. So there's a trilogy of Charlie Brown holiday movies. You watch The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown on Halloween. Then you watch It's Thanksgiving, Charlie Brown on Thanksgiving. And then you watch Charlie Brown Christmas at Christmas time. Staple in my house. I had the VHS series because I'm not old. And then I had the DVD series later. So the Hershey Kiss one would be a biscuit because it's not mixed in. Got it. About 3 years ago, I drove past a number of pumpkin fields around the 10th of November. I guess that they'd lost all the pickers after Brexit. Ouch. I mean, in November, who's eating pumpkin in November? I mean, unless like it was do you have pick your own pumpkin patches here? Because I haven't heard them or seen them, but obviously Dundee has been to one. Then there's the whole biscuits versus scones thing. Biscuits and gravy or chicken and biscuits in the US, which is not rich tea covered in pisto. I'm actually starting to like US biscuits and gravy. Yes, Broxton! We will slowly convert you guys. It's actually not that bad. You have to find a place that makes it right, especially if you're out west, because it's not a Western thing. But it's so good. Oh, Steven. That's not right. Oh, you're in now, bro. You know it. You said it. You're there. I think we just look at it as a cake or some sort of sweet or just a treat. I don't think we'd see tea cakes as biscuits or cookies in general. Maybe just a type of tea cake. Yeah, okay. Well, tea cake is a separate category here, I guess. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Hey, NY. Yeah, it's definitely lots of books. There is some good restaurants there and it's just the cool architecture. It's a really cute little town. The child's a bookworm, so she enjoyed herself tremendously. I don't know what you mean by that. Never had a Russian tea cakes, so send me cookie. They're actually really, really easy to make. They're just something we made at Christmas time. They're just it's basically dough. I think there's a nut in it as well. And then powdered sugar on the outside. It's very sweet. Cookies are usually flat-ish, so you can see the bits inside the dough like fruit or chocolate or Smarties. Smarties! You mean M&M's, right? She said Smarties. I've lost my place. I've seen some of these. Smooth peanut butter. Yes, I definitely prefer smooth peanut butter over chunky. I'm with you on that one. Sam cases, we need another drunk Mandy stream. Maybe I'll do some kind of like fundraising challenge for the channel. And then you'll get a drunk stream if we hit it. We'll see. I'll think of something. Again, I have more time on my hands now, so I can actually do it. Marmite. Who would have Marmite and pineapple together? Piper. Don't even suggest it, because they'll make me eat it, probably. You're not going to get me on a proper beer, probably, Richard. I'm just saying. I appreciate that you're going to give it a try, Manny. I am really, really excited to find out what you think. So Manny, what I'll do is I'll email you the link to the podcast that my partner started listening to. That's kind of what got him into it, and see if you enjoy it. But it is a very specific team podcast, and you can't support that team. But the behind the scenes stuff is good. I always need some wild turkey. You have chili eating competitions in the UK? Because we definitely have those in the US. Have you heard of K-pop Demon Hunter? Seems like a huge thing currently. I watched it and quite enjoyed it. I think my kid mentioned that. If you liked it, I'll give it a shot. Please try Cornish curd cheese. It's amazing. Okay. I'll try anything once, twice if it's really good. Oh, no, it isn't. Love it. Hi, Claire. Nice to have you here. Thank you for joining us. What programs do you enjoy watching? My Guilty Pleasures, MAFS. I don't know what MAFS is. I don't really watch Married at First Sight. Oh, okay. I don't really watch a lot of television, and I'm not trying to get out of the answer by any means, Claire. I don't. I watch a lot of YouTube, and I watch a lot of like Netflix documentaries. If I had to watch a television show, a British television show, I don't really. I watch Question Time. And sometimes I watch This Morning and James O'Brien on LBC. That's the kind of stuff I watch. I don't watch a lot of like entertainment stuff just because I don't, it doesn't do anything for me. Married at First Sight I've heard of, though. It's like the new trendy thing, right? I don't know. I used to watch reality television a lot, and then I just fell off of it for a while. It started to become like everything was reality television, and it started to become repetitive to me. This was back when I still lived in America. I think this was even before the kid was born, or early age. Once I had her, though, and there's lots of stuff going on, I just had very little time, so I just really focused on the stuff that I really wanted to. But the reality show I used to watch all the time, I don't know if they had it here. Well, I know one of them they had here. I used to watch Hoarders all the time. I found that fascinating, and I had a hoarder in my family, so I found it like extra fascinating and personal. And then I used to watch Bridezillas all the time as well. Yes, Manny, love it. A sober Scotsman is a person you should never trust. That's super fair. Super fair. I love the Grinch. I'm not afraid to say it. That's cool, Alex, but I have a question. You're talking about the feature film, right? That Jim Carrey is in, which I assume only because a lot of people don't know here. A lot of people here in Britain don't know the Cat in the Hat version of cartoon version of the Grinch, which is actually a classic in America. So I would suggest if you love the Grinch movie, which I assume is what you're talking about, look up How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. It's a cartoon. It's like a half hour or so long, and it's really cute. What is Cullen skink? It sounds like a form of pot. Steven's trying to get me high. Hi, Wayne Martin. We used to watch all those Christmas specials every year when I was growing up. Still love them. Honestly, I try to watch them with my kid every year. It's a little tradition for us. Obviously, the Halloween and Thanksgiving one is more nostalgic for us. And Charlie's Christmas is like, Charlie Brown Christmas is like, it's forever going to be a classic, isn't it? M&Ms don't have nuts inside. I mean, some of them do. The peanut M&Ms do. Smarties are like small M&Ms though, right? I'm pretty sure. Disco, thank you so much for the generous super chat. I appreciate that. US Smarties and UK Smarties are different. Yeah, US Smarties are like a sugar candy, and the UK Smarties are more like M&Ms. Yeah. Yeah. I always liked the US Smarties, to be fair. Yes, you used to, but they've outlawed them now, right? But I remember reading about that somewhere. That was freaking crazy. Watch the postseason if you want, Manny, if you can find it. You might honestly, you might need a subscription to see it. But what's really funny is we were watching a game the other day, and there was British commentators. And I was like, what the hell? This is fucking weird. All right, I'll definitely check it out, Piper. Thank you. Dundee, thank you so much for the generous super chat. I appreciate it. Yeah, I tend to binge watch YouTube, and then I'll binge watch like I Married a Murderer Netflix series. That's kind of what I do. Good night, Stephen. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Doesn't surprise me. If you know where it is or the name of it, let me know. I'll actually visit it. I used to bake my own biscuits before my illness. I would freeze the dough and bake them when I was cooking something else. Now they have too much sugar for you. Yeah. We used to bake cookies every year, and we used to have loads and loads of cookies, like leftovers. We used to give them away in tins and stuff when I was little. A fish and potato soup like chowder. Oh, okay. The Snowman. Oh my God. I watched The Snowman for the first time last year. I might have been the first year we were here. I don't remember. But I cried, guys. I was like, The Christmas Carol, obviously. I do love watching pimple popping. I'm now into earwax removal and ingrown hair removals. Don't judge me. Oh, Miracle on 34th Street is one of my favorites of all time. I love it. Polar Express. And recently for Christmas, we started to watch Arthur every year. Oh my God. Arthur. I haven't seen that in forever. I was a kid when that came out. Gosh, I might have to pull that one out and watch it. I haven't seen it in forever. Dudley Moore, Arthur. Those were huge in America, the Arthur movies. What's claws? Okay, I don't know that one, but I will check it out. I know the snowman is so sad. It makes me so. I mean, it makes, yes, of course, but it's just like, oh, it really. I mean, I knew it was gonna happen, but I just, oh, gutted me. Is that the one where her and her boyfriend were getting abusive texts, and then they ended up breaking up because it ended up causing a rift? Because if that is the one, then I did see it. If it's a different one, let me know, because it's definitely something I'd want to watch. Oh, I am thinking of something different. British animated movie, Arthur. There's only one. Okay. There are movies called Arthur, 1 and 2, I think. Dudley Moore is in them, and I remember watching when I was a kid, and I thought they were hilarious, but I don't know if it's just because I was a kid. But I might pull out and watch them again, because now you made me think of them. Klaus is a Spanish animated film supposed to be really good. I'll check that one out too, because oh, that's such a cool scene, Sam. Obviously, Home Alone. That's what you mean, but yeah, what a cool scene. Yeah, I saw that, Diane. That shit was sick. That was disgusting. Me and the child had like a half-hour conversation after that one when we watched it. Watership Down. No, I don't know that one either, Claire. I will Google it and look it up. Piper. Arthur Christmas. Okay, I got you. Oh, Hugh Laurie's in it. James McAvoy, Bill Nye. All right, that looks good. Watership Down is a classic, 1970s. Yeah, I'm with you. I did too. I was like, you're never allowed to complain ever again. Okay, I will check out Watership Down as well, you guys. Thanks for all the recommendations. I'm going to leave it there for the evening. Gosh, we're almost at 2 hours. I just yap away, don't I? Thank you guys so much for joining me, though. I appreciate it. It's always fantastic. Don't forget, if you want to see some reactions to some British stuff, make sure you become a member. Click that join button so you can see the Mind the Culture Gap Y'all podcast. And there's also access to travel podcasts and behind the scenes and all kinds of other fun things. We do have other podcasts. One is Americans Visit Castles and Stuff. That's the travel one that I mentioned. Also, the Watching America Abroad is with my takes on what's going on in U.S. news and politics. If you want to watch that as well, that would be cool. I appreciate it. That one is public and open for everybody. Yeah, thanks so much. I had a blast as always. It's always a fun time when I hang out with you guys. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and consider joining if you can. More UK, US vlogs coming Thursday and Sunday, and of course, lots of extra stuff in between. Sign up for our newsletter if you can. It's completely free. You get our weekly blog and special coupons and discounts for all the stuff that's in our shop. And yeah, and that's it. That's all I got. Appreciate your support in any way that you guys can provide it, even if it's just hitting that like button or rewatching some of your favorite videos. As a reminder, we are here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. UK time. I hope to see you guys in the next show, because it really only gets better when you're there. Have a great rest of your week, you guys. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Lots of love. Bye.